Welcome to the installation video for the FireFly auto trading software. Okay, we're going to start with a couple of presumptions, and the first one being is that you've already installed your MT4 platform. The second one is that you've already downloaded the FireFly software from the website. You'll find a link in your introductory email. If you haven't, that's obviously the first thing you need to do. If you're having any trouble with the MT4 platform, then I suggest you go to the relevant broker site. You should find all the information there with regard to installation. Well, as you can see on the screen, I've already downloaded and installed a fresh MT4 for the purposes of showing you how to install the FireFly software. So the first thing I need to do is open up the FireFly zip file, which I've now placed on the desktop. So double click the zip file, and inside you'll see another folder just saying FireFly. That's only because it's wrapped inside the zip. Open it up. Now this is the important bit. You'll see two files and another folder with indicators. What we have to do is we have to install the two files and possibly the indicators. Now much will be dependent upon your platform that you've chosen. Some platforms will already have these indicators installed, not an issue, but the indicators need to be on the platform for the EA to work. So it is important that if they're not already installed inside the particular MT4 variation that you're using, that you do install them, which is why they're there. But the very first thing we're going to install is the actual EA itself. Now the EA itself comes in two files. It comes with an executable file and it comes with a DLL file. Both of these have to be installed. Now the way to install an MT4 file is to open up your platform. I've already got the platform open here, and go up to the file menu, this at the top, click File, go down to Open Data Folder, and open the data folder. Now what we're actually installing is something called an expert. And it's written in something called MQL4 language. So the first thing we have to do is double click on the MQL4, and then we have to click on the experts. Okay. At the moment there's hardly anything in it, it's a fresh install. Then we'll take the executable file here, the ex4 file, and we'll drag it from our zip file into the experts folder, and there, that is the first file that has been installed. Okay, then what we've got to do is we've got to go back. Now go down to the libraries file. We're still in the MQL4 section. What I've done is click the back button here. Go into the libraries section, and now take the DLL file and drag and drop that into the libraries file. Okay, there we are. Now what I have to do is check the indicators. So I'll open up the indicators, and you'll find there are two indicators here, bandwidth ratio and Keltner channel. Now both these indicators are needed for the EA to function properly. If you don't put them in, you'll find that although it'll work, the trading stops will be all over the place, because the actual calculations for the trading stops require both of these indicators. And in fact, actually, you might even get some variations in the entries too. So it's very important that these two indicators are actually installed. How do you check? Well, what we do is you go back again and kill libraries. Now we've got experts, files, images included. Just above libraries, you'll see a file saying indicators. So what we do is click on this and see what's actually here. Now if we scroll down, thankfully it's in alphabetical order, this particular one. So no, I cannot see it. So HIJ, no. So what I shall do is I shall drag my Keltner file across, and that's installed. Go up to bandwidth. Bollinger Bands will probably be installed, but I'm not sure. Yeah, there you got bands, but the Bollinger Band ratio is not. So I shall drag that one into there. Okay, and that is all the files installed. So I can close this window. Now for it actually, to work, we have to close this window, and then we have to restart the MT4 platform. Now we restart the MT4 platform by clicking on the icon here. Okay. And we should find in our experts the FireFly EA is installed. Now, if we attempt at this point to install the FireFly, what you will find is it will give you this particular folder. It gives you varying different options from this pop-up. And what we will do is, although I'll complete it now, you'll find that it'll actually not work initially because we haven't completed one very important step. But initially, when you are going to do this, you'd have to complete knife trading and allow DLL imports. Obviously, you saw the DLL fine. The inputs give you a series of parameters, and I'll give you another video with regard to each of these so you can look at what each one does and decide whether or not you yourself want to use it. But initially you can leave them as is, except for the fact that under money management you will only be trading the default lot size, which is 1 mini lot, which is 0.1. If you wanted to increase that, you would turn this on to true, and then it would ignore the lot size and it would look at risk in percentage, which is by default set to 2, although it will give you a maximum size of lot of 0.5. Now you can fiddle with this, turn it to 1, turn it to put this as maximum lot of 1, whatever you so wish, whatever combination works for you and your risk appetite. But bear in mind, the idea of this particular EA is to keep risk as low as possible while trying to maximize gain. But anyway, if we click OK, now you'll find that it will attempt to load, and you'll get this sign, insufficient license for your project. Now this is purely because this account number I have not yet lodged with the admin. So I shall do that now. So just bear with me 2 seconds, and then we will see if we can get it to work. Okay, I've registered the new number, and we should now be ready to go. So the first thing we need to do is re-add the euro chart. So we'll put back the chart. Now it just so happens that it's the correct chart on the correct time frame. The first thing to understand is the EA itself is designed to work on an hour time frame. It is also proved profitable on a 15-minute time frame, but that often requires a little bit of intervention from the trader itself, particularly on managing the trade entry and exit. Fair enough, but sometimes you'll find that it'll make quite a lot of pips, and then because of the nature of the EA, doesn't necessarily maintain those pips. So a lot of people have found that on a 15-minute self-managing does help, but that's not going to be much use if you want an auto trader. So in terms of using it as an auto trading EA, the 1 hour chart is, or the 1 hour time frame is the time frame that you will need to use. By default this is opened at a 1 hour. Originally it had only 1 minute, so the first thing you must check is what is your time frame. In this particular instance is 1 hour. If you put it on a 5-minute or a 4 hour, you will find that you'll get negative results. You must put it on either 50 on, well, you must, if you want it to trade totally automatically, on a 1 hour time frame. If you quite likely to fiddle and want a lot more trades, then you can place it on a 15-minute time frame, but that's entirely up to you and how you work as a trader. Anyway, moving on. So now let's try and install the FireFly EA properly. So we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll drag. Well, actually, first thing we need to do before we do that is make sure we have auto trading enabled. Now, auto trading is this little button at the top. You might have noticed when we started before, a little sad face appeared just briefly in the right hand corner of the screen. This is because auto trading itself wasn't actually enabled. So let's click. And again we come back to this pop-up where we have these 4 tabs. The most important tab for you at the moment is the common tab. You must enable live trading, and you must also enable allow DLL imports. It will not work without those two things being enabled. So please check. Always check that as your first port of call. If you can't find something that's working, it's more than likely to be that. If the chart itself is just closing down on you, then it is likely to be more to do with the fact that there's something wrong with the account number that you've given. But anyway, we will look at that later. So again, we're back to this. If I just use it, click OK now, what will happen is that all the default settings will be operational. But the key one you need to really worry about initially is this one here, use of money management. It's the only one you need to worry too much about initially. We'll go through the others in a follow-up video. But initially you must decide whether or not you want to just run it with standard 0.1 lots, or you are more inclined to run it on a percentage of risk of your account. If you want it to run on the risk of your account, you would click this to true. Should be a drop down, there you are, true. And then you change the risk percentage. If you wanted to just maintain a manual or keep the same number of lots on every single trade, you would keep it to false and you would adjust this particular level. Now you can actually trade it on micro lots as well, and if you want to do that you would enter 01. So let's say we've entered 01, that would trade as a micro lot. Okay, so we'll click that, click OK. So that's the very smallest possibility. Now you'll see that suddenly we have the lock symbol in the corner, the EA is working, we haven't had the chart closed, and you'll see an order has immediately been placed. Don't panic, the order that has been placed is actually a pending order, and it's in this particular case it's a buy stop for euro dollar. Now what will happen is every 15 minutes this order will be refreshed. Eventually you'll probably see two orders per chart, a buy and a sell, but they haven't established a range yet for the sell side. So what you're going to find is you'll have usually two orders per chart. If you have more than two orders per chart, then you need to delete the orders and let them re-establish themselves. Occasionally you might have a delinquent order that hangs around, something to do with the MT4 platform and the way it operates. Often you might get that if you have a disconnection. But generally speaking, you should have two, and you should always look at the time. What's time? Now obviously you've got to remember broker time is going to be different to your own standard time. So for me this is a couple of hours different to my GMT time, so it's 2 hours in advance. So I can tell from this. But every 15 minutes you will find that this trade will be deleted and renewed, and the deleted trade will go into the account history just as a deleted cancelled trade and a new trade renewed. The idea is that the EA is constantly monitoring the, not every hour, because on our chart, I do apologize, it's per hour, but every hour it'll update, and what you'll find is that the EA is constantly monitoring. So the update is per the time frame of the chart. Okay, so that is the installation process. Hopefully you'll consider it reasonably simple. It's not too challenging. And if you have any problems, please email